YNABers, my name is Jesse Meekum from YNAB. It stands for You Need a Budget. This is another Whiteboard Wednesday. I apologize for my sexy voice. I am a little under the weather. Today I want to talk about, well, what budgeting can do for your love life. And to do that, I'm going to share a bit of a personal story. So we talk often about budgeting with a spouse, with a partner, or when you're sharing your finances with someone, how important it is that you get on the same page. We've also talked a lot about how I overspent in my groceries category for a decade and didn't know what to do about it. So Julie and I, we were married in 2003. We started budgeting right then in 2003. And in about 2004, a year later, we actually tried to sell YNAB, originally as a spreadsheet. And in that time, we were learning how to budget. And we were seeing that it worked pretty well for us in our financial situation. Now, to paint a picture for you, rent was $350. That included phone and utilities. Cell phones didn't exist, at least not for us, not the cool kind we have now. And everything was cheaper. We had one car. We finally were able to get a computer. We had school left. Things were super, super tight. And early on, Julie and I talked about our priorities. And before you get married, obviously, that's a discussion you'd want to have. And it was Julie's priority and mine that she'd be able to be a stay-at-home mom. So when she stopped work and Porter came along, our first, we had a very clear division of responsibilities. I would try and finish school as fast as humanly possible so we could start making some money. She was going to be taking care of Porter, staying at home. And she is a phenomenal cook. At that time, she was learning, but still doing very well. And she was in charge of a lot of the grocery shopping. So to kind of paint that picture, I was in charge of carrying the groceries in, but I didn't actually go to the store and purchase them very often. And I never made the list or did any meal planning or anything like that. So I'm sure a lot of you were in Julie's shoes. You're the meal planner, you're the grocery shopper, you're the main cook, and things like that. That was her lot. Still is, and she kills it at it. So in that situation, we would overspend in groceries. And Julie would pinch pennies. I mean, she would price match. She would do everything she could just to squeeze everything out of that budget. Between the two of us and Porter, we were spending $100 a month on food. And my refrain was always, oh man, we keep overspending in groceries. We'd spend $120, $130. We'd bump it to $120, we'd spend $140, we'd bump it to $130, we'd spend $150. We were just always overspending, and it was agonizing to me because I'm OCD and I just didn't like it. Well, we did that for years and years and years, always overspending in groceries. Fast forward about 10 years later, this would have been probably 2011, 2012. Julie and I are having one of our just standard budget meetings. We're getting together. What do you want to do about this? What do you want to do about that? What about the kids this, kids that? By that time, I think we had tacked on 3, maybe 4 more kids. I'm not sure. But what happened was, at some point in there, I was like, man, we keep overspending in groceries. We're always having to correct the overspending. Rule 3, rolling with the punches. Why can't we just ratchet it down? I'd tried showing her like coupon this or that and strategies that you could use and bulk buying and freezer meals. And frankly, she wasn't interested. So finally, she was able to share with me, and this was the bit. This is the part where it improves your love life, right? Finally, she was able to share with me, just like from the bottom of her heart, like, Jesse, when I go shopping, grocery shopping, it is a victory for me to have the kids be reasonably behaved and for me to be able to get out of there without a lot of mayhem happening. Like, if I can just get all the kids in the car, get to the grocery store, get the stuff I need, not forget anything, get all the kids back in the car, get home, get the groceries unloaded, get the kids unloaded, and have everything go off without a hitch, seemingly, it's a victory. I don't care, and this is a verbatim quote, I do not care what a can of corn costs. And 10 years later, fast forward from where we were at early on to where we were then, where we are now, we didn't need to be so tight with the budget, not even close. So finally, for me, I recognized Julie's priority wasn't healthy food, although that is. And it wasn't to be able to make fancy meals or be able to make fast meals or anything like that. Her priority was basically sanity around the grocery shopping experience. And for her to keep her sanity with all these kids in tow it was necessary for her not to have to worry about pinching the pennies and comparing price shopping. Now I say that as one example because it was enlightening for me, and we've never overspent in groceries since. I say never, probably never. Darn close. We threw in a lot more money, and I recognized that for Julie, her priority was to not have to worry about the grocery budget. When she sees something, she can just buy it. Now, do we worry about other stuff, other categories? Do we pinch pennies here and there? Yes, because for her it's a priority. She wants to make sure she gets things at a good buy. She doesn't like to feel like she's been had, things like that. But for groceries, one evening when we were doing the budget meeting, we finally peeled back the onion a lot, got all the way to the core of it, and she was like, I don't want to have to care about that stuff. And that was one of her priorities. And sure, it took us 10 years to find out, and me probably being lame for 9 of those years, but we figured it out. And to this day, it's been smooth sailing. So I share that story, one, to just highlight that you learn things, even after a decade of budgeting, you can still learn things about each other. 2, the budget meeting keeps on doing its job. When you're meeting together and you're discussing, and we weren't going in saying, let's get to the root cause of why we overspent in groceries. None of that happened. But just kind of organically, it was like, aha, aha. And then we chatted, we talked, no guilt, no accusatory stuff, just, oh, what do you mean when you don't have to price shop? And she says, well, remember back when we were first married, I had to do this and that. We just uncovered, we shared, we had a bonding moment. Proved our love life. And that's what the budget can do for your love life. It can surface your partner's priorities for you, and when you know those, suddenly light bulbs go off all over the place, and you can come together again and kill it financially, which is what we're trying to continually do. Anyway, I'm glad you could bear with me through that bit of a personal story, but I thought it illustrated that point of being patient and kind of letting the budget meeting do its job in that relationship, where you can find out more and more about each other, and frankly, even after 10 years, you can be pretty surprised at what you learn. I will see you guys next week.